two sisters rest outdoors under a cloudless sky. It must have rained recently because a double rainbow can be seen in the background. The youngest of the girls has turned her face, absorbed in the contemplation of this phenomenon in the landscape. The elder, however, remains with her back to the rainbow. Her half-closed eyes already give us a clue. She is blind. To confirm it, one only needs to notice the small sign hanging from her chest, which reads, "Pity the blind," and her hand exploring the grass, as touch is one of the most developed senses in those who cannot see. Her condition prevents her from enjoying the beauty of the natural scenery, the green grass, the flowers, the birds, not even the butterfly resting on her cloak. To make matters worse, these young women are poor, as evidenced by their tattered and patched clothing, and possibly orphans. Their survival depends on the alms they receive when the blind sister plays the accordion, which rests on her lap. Despite their efforts to move forward, there are no good omens for either of them. In the middle ground of the painting, several crows appear, a bird of ill omen, always associated with bad luck, even death. Their presence foreshadows the fate of these two unfortunate girls. This painting was created by John Everett Millais in 1856 and was highly successful, both for its quality and for the theme it chose to portray. At that time, there was a brief trend in painting that sought to depict social injustices and, consequently, those in greatest need, mainly beggars. Millais's originality lay in evoking even greater sadness in the viewer. That is why, in my opinion, this is the most emotional painting I have ever seen. When we think of beggars, an old man on the streets of London often comes to mind, like in a novel by Charles Dickens. But not only in England, such precarious situations were also denounced in other cities, as seen in this lithograph by Jericho or in the paintings of Thomas Kennington. He too sought to depict the reality of life on England's streets during that era, though in a different manner. Millais chose two young girls as his protagonists so that we would feel even greater sorrow for their plight, demonstrating that anyone can find themselves in such a situation and suffer the tragic consequences of having neither a home for shelter nor food to eat. The background of this painting depicts a view of Winchelsea, a small town in East Sussex, located about 2 miles southwest of the coastal town of Rye. The village stands on the site of a medieval town founded in 1288 to replace an earlier settlement of the same name, sometimes referred to as Old Winchelsea, which was lost to the sea. It is known that Millais, along with fellow artists Holman Hunt and Edward Lear, visited the town in 1852. Records indicate that Millais completed the middle ground of the painting while in Perth, Scotland, where he had taken his new wife Effie during the summer of 1855. The story behind the painting recounts that the last element to be painted was the amber-coloured skirt worn by the blind girl, which Effie persuaded an old woman to lend her. Effie documented the incident, writing, "She swore an oath and said what could Mrs. Millais want with her old coat? It was so dirty, but I was welcome. I kept it 2 days and sent it back with a shilling, and she was quite pleased." For this painting, Millais used Matilda Proudfoot as the model for the blind girl and Isabella Nicol as the model for her younger sister. Although Matilda was not blind, she was a poor child. Seeking greater authenticity, the artist's wife, Effie, recruited her from a local industrial school in Perth, an institution that supported poor and orphaned children. This school, founded in 1843, aimed to shelter and train orphaned or destitute girls, as well as those who, due to poverty, neglect, or other circumstances, lacked proper guardianship or were at risk of exposure to crime and corruption. Effie Millais described Matilda as coming from a miserable home. Initially, Effie had posed as the model for the blind girl, but she found it uncomfortable and exhausting to sit outdoors for long periods, which caused her terrible suffering. She also noted that finding models from schools for the poor was difficult because, according to her, most were too ugly. Eventually, Millais decided to erase her face from the painting and replace it with Matilda's. The Liverpool Academy awarded this painting its annual prize in 1857. It was well received and is now considered one of Millais' finest works. His pre-Raphaelite colleague Dante Rossetti called it one of the most touching and perfect things I know. John Ruskin, his former mentor and patron, described the blind girl. The common is a fairly spacious bit of ragged pasture, and at the side of the public road passing over it, the blind girl has sat down to rest a while. She is a simple beggar, not a poetical or vicious one, a girl of 18 or 20, extremely plain-featured but healthy, and just now resting, not because she is much tired, but because the sun has but this moment come out after a shower and the smell of grass is pleasant. Despite its success and being considered a masterpiece, this painting still evokes sadness in me. The blindness of the older girl and the things she will never see, along with the fact that she must beg for money by the roadside, playing her accordion for strangers just to keep herself and her sister from starving, is deeply moving. At the time this painting was created, vagrancy and the lack of support for disabled people, especially children, were serious issues. Social inequality and wealth distribution in 19th century Britain were at an all-time low, making scenes like this a common sight in both city streets and rural roads. The rainbow suggests new beginnings and redemption, while the dark storm clouds hint at a troubled past or foretell future hardships. The bright sun brings clarity to the world, yet it almost seems to mock the blind girl who remains in darkness. This painting allows for many interpretations, and that is the power of art. It makes us feel. Each person will experience different emotions when looking at it, but for me, it evokes a powerful blend of joy and melancholy. The more I reflect on this piece, the more complex my emotions become. I see hopeful messages within it, but also somber ones. Ultimately, what matters is that it moves me deeply, and that is what makes it a great painting. I could stare at it for hours without getting tired of it. I'd love to know what emotions this painting awakens in you. Thank you for watching this video until the end. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave me a comment and subscribe, as we are about to reach 100,000 subscribers. It would mean so much to me to have built such a large community of people who love art as much as I do. On the other hand, if you'd like to have this painting in your home, you can now purchase it from our website. There, you'll find this artwork along with many other masterpieces to collect and enjoy for a lifetime. Plus, by shopping in our store, you'll be supporting the creation of more videos like this. Shipping is completely free worldwide, so I invite you to check out our catalog. The link will be in the description. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.